Hi guys, had a request from a buddy of mine. We went on a Georgia Bushcraft camp out. I was only able to stay for one day, and we erected a shelter out of bamboo. And he wanted to learn a little bit more about lashing, and actually requested that I do something on lashing. So I thought we would spend just a little bit just going over how to lash a tripod, and I'll also go over a square lashing. But for now, we're just going to do a simple tripod lash. Tripods are so useful out in the bush for cooking, furniture, any kind of thing that you might need to support or hang stuff on. So anyway, thought we'd do that first. And what we're doing today is we're going to be using just 3 saplings, a roll of tarred mariner's line, and a cutting tool, and also very much like this package hook on the Swiss Army knife that I carry for tightening frappings and wraps on when I'm doing lashing. So let's get started. We'll start out with our first wrap. I want to come down about 6-8 inches from the tip, the top of our tripod, which will become the top of our tripod. We want to make a bite in our line, if you can see that. We're just going to take a bite on our line and then twist it with our finger. And what we're doing is we're basically going to make a timber hitch out of this loop. So I'm going to pull off some cordage off of this spool and cut it, and then we will get started. I've got about 4 arm lengths of the bank line here, and I'll go back to my original twist here from a timber hitch. So what I've got now is and with an open pole, all we're going to do is we're just going to make this a loop here. Slip that over, go down about 6-8 inches, and we're going to pull this all through the eye. And what this will create is a self-tightening hitch on this first pole of our tripod. Now, next, with our line, this is a lot of line, but we're going to also use this line, the tag end of this line, to use as a hanger for pots and cookware over a fire. So first thing we want to do is we want to keep all three of these poles here lined up even, and we're just going to start off here with, I'm going to put my knee on this pole here so that it stays straight. We're going to wrap this 6 to 8 wraps around this pole, keeping it good and tight. After about 3 or 4 wraps, I'm going to give it a pull. So all I'm doing is I'm going to use this packaging hook, keeping these straight. Now I'll continue. I've got 4 or 5 wraps on there. I'm going to go 8. I'm going to keep our lashing as straight here as we can. We don't want it twisting over each other. Now with that, we're going to give it one more tug here. Making sure that these don't bunch up in the process of tightening. Now that we're there, we're going to take our tag end, which is pretty long, and we're going to wrap through the first loop, the first pole, between the first and the middle pole. We're going to bring that down here. Now, one of the things that you may need to do is to spread these logs or your poles and fish your tag in through. And what we're doing now is we're going to do frapping on this, between this joint and the middle joint here, between these 2 poles. We're going to wrap this twice This Mariner's line, tarred bank line, does an excellent job of holding. Now, one more time through. Back up. Pull my tag end out. Now, I'm ready to really yank down on this. I'm going to crank it tight. So I'm standing on it. And that's what we didn't want to happen, but it happens. So, what I want to do now is I'm going to splice this line that I just broke together. And I don't have enough line there to really make it work, but I'm going to try. What I'm doing is I'm going to tie a fisherman's knot in here, which is a good way to join two pieces of line together. So I'm going to pull that out. So if it does break, we're going to tie this knot in here to splice these back together. From here, I'm going to go over and go back down through here, through the middle and the outside pole here with this line here. So I'm going to readjust. I'm going to lift up this outside pole and get this knot, this mess that I made, out through here. So when you're tightening down on these, if you're using bank line, you can't, with a stick toggle, you might be able to get away with more than I just did. All right, so I've got it through here. And I'm going to dress it up, make it look a little better. Now, from here, I'm going to start passing my line back through. Lift up, get your line in, pull down. All right. So now we can just start making our frapping. We're only going to do 2 fraps, 2 passes through. I'm going to put it to the outside of that knot there. Bring it back in, lift up, adjust, twist, whatever you have to do to get that back in. One more. Pass through. Then back through the other top end, through the slit there. And now we want to crank down on this. But I want that frapping over there, on that side together with the other one. Okay, so now I'm going to use a stick because that packaging hook, just use a toggle instead of the packaging hook, and we probably won't have as much strain on this cord. So from there, we're going to pull that real tight, and that's it. Now we need to terminate our line here, our tag in. The way we're going to do that is we're going to do a hitch right here, clove hitch. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started. So I'm going here, I'm going to pass over, do it one more time. Okay, so what we've got now effectively is a clove hitch with my tag in here. I'm going to bring that over a little, put it in the middle, separate those out, and feed my tag in through my X. Right here. Bring it down to where my lashings are. Tighten my clove hitch up. Now I'm going to, just as an added piece of security, I'm going to put a stop knot at the end of my clove hitch right here, just to make sure that it is not going to turn loose. So I'm just going to bring that down as closely as I can to my clove hitch. So now, with this long tag end that we've got left here, once we stand up our tripod, we'll use that as a string to hold pots, whatever. All right, let me stand this up and we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, right here is the lashing work on the tripod. All we're doing is we took the tripod and we took the middle leg and pulled it out. You can see the lashing there. And what I did is I've got a good amount of extra bank line up here, which I use. It's always good to have extra around camp, but I use that as a cord just coming down. I wrapped the excess around the top forks and just brought that down here to a toggle, and this toggle of course will fit through a bell on a bush pot or a any kind of cooking device that has a bell, so that you can hang over the fire there with that, and you can cook up, boil water, whatever you need to do. All right guys, Kevin especially, this is for you. Just a little tripod lashing demonstration. Hope it helps, and don't forget guys, keep doing stuff Self-Reliance. I'll see you next time.